From ESPN to AI hackathons, Kaila Love has done it all, and she's just getting started. And this Spotlight episode, we're diving into how this award-winning artist turned agency owner used the Marketer's Toolkit to build a system so smooth, even non-techie creatives can launch like pros. Get ready to see how Kaila used no-code tools to build a six-figure platform for over 100 artists across 6 countries, all powered by the toolkit. We're good?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm so excited because as you know, or you may have seen, I did my very first hackathon at the end of May for N8N. It was an AI workflow hackathon, and I was one of the only solo team to win one of the 4 cash prizes. So that was really amazing to just compete solo and to kind of prove to myself. And I started just building a bunch of agentic workflows and whatnot. And so I was invited to present at the official N8N San Francisco meetup. And I showed my HighLevel N8N and Lovable integration, creating an end-to-end product. So it's basically an agent that creates other agents that, and it's an agent that basically allows visitors to have a chat with your website. So it instantly creates a little agent widget, and then through HighLevel, you'll actually be able to deploy that in your Instagram DMs or your Facebook messages. And then I got the opportunity to compete at a second hackathon on Sunday, and it was 168 participants, 35 teams. Again, I competed solo, top 3 was just announced this morning. So I'm in third. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. Invited to craft my pitch on Monday at Amazon and win so that it can be the featured music app at Outside Lands this year, which is a huge music festival in San Francisco. It's like that. There's so many things that are happening. So I'm just happy to be here and talk with you, the community where it all started for me. And Marketer's Toolkit has been so integral to that journey. I really could not have launched my agency without the Marketer's Toolkit. So for me, it was not option. It was like, this is like as important as the foundational software for me. So I'm so excited.
Well, I'm really excited to talk to you all about it. So first of all, just tell us a little bit how you got into HighLevel.
Oh man, let's see.
Like you were in the music business, right? First,
yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I always wanted to be a rapper. And then I realized if anybody was ever going to hear my music, that I needed to understand the music business side, which comes with understanding copyright law and how to register your music properly so you receive royalties, and how to market and how to create content. And I realized to execute a lot of those tasks as an independent artist without a team or a budget, you needed to leverage technology, needed to leverage automation. And this is before generative AI. And so that's what I started to build, and I would get traction. I put out a goal that I wanted to be sync licensed. I wanted my music to appear in a film or a commercial or a TV show. And the day that my single Halftime dropped, it appeared on ESPN's The Jump on television. And then it went on to go into the NBA 2K video game. And so once I started to get these type of accomplishments, I would go back and create training materials for artists and host workshops and curate panels of other thought leaders in the industry to share resources. And that has been going really well. But if people would reach out to me, it was like, I need to further automate and create a system. And I remember going to Gary Vee's conference. He actually invited me to VeeCon 2022, and I ran into a music producer who's pretty notable that I actually, the very first time I went into a studio at 17 years old, I realized that it was his studio, and we pieced that together years and years later. And he told me about HighLevel, and there at Gary Vee's conference, I started my agency that night.
Amazing.
He was like, well, have you heard of HighLevel? Yeah. And it's a CRM and it does this. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. And I went back to my room. I couldn't wait. I was like, I'm going back tonight. And I signed up for my trial. I started my agency, Goal Getters AI.
So you wanted to help other musicians and artists to be able to market what they have and get it out there.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great. And I would love for you, would you mind showing us a little bit of your back end so we can see what you did? Because when you came in on an optimization call, I was floored by how well you were able to convert HighLevel into an easy to use platform for your users.
Man, that is why I did not even launch for like the first year and a half, because I would show some of my friends and they would look at it and get really overwhelmed and be like, there's just a lot of buttons here. and really not know where to start, having just so many options. I also have a friend I work with who has a form of autism. And so she would give me feedback on what type of UX and workflows and just the way her brain worked. And I said, okay, if I can build for her, then I can build for anybody. And that it's going to create an overall better user experience for everyone. So I would just test things out and realize, okay, I need to simplify this, just make it more accessible, because I'm using this in a way that other high level agency owners are not using it. I'm not doing voicemail drops with a callback. I'm leaving you my new single for to say I'm rapping on your voicemail and finding ways to just use these features in a unique way. And so the marketer's toolkit was so pivotal in being able to actually do that and pull that off in a way where not having a technical background, not knowing how to code, not knowing how to go in and mess with the CSS so that I could create my brand colors without completely corrupting the functionality of my system. But it wasn't possible without the marketer's toolkit. So I'm just account back here.
Absolutely.
I have privacy mode with the marketer's toolkit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that, show you one of the sub accounts here. So let me just pull one up because I got to get my dashboard buttons, since those are an integral part of the marketer's toolkit.
That blur effect is so cool that it will blur things for you. So that way, if you want to share your system backend, it's able to, and it's so fast because it's just a shortcut function.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is Goal Getters. This is my music agency dashboard. And so one of the main features that was my saving grace in being able to launch the system that I envisioned was these dashboard buttons, because it allows users to simply update their universal values, the custom values in their account, just through these forms on their dashboard. And so they'll be able to put in the artist's name, it's all actually pulling in right here. So this is one of my artists here. She puts in her title and her description, her music descriptor, and her headshot link. Another amazing tool is with this field here. Typically, before Marketer's Toolkit, artists had to upload it to the media library, copy that link, and then put in the URL. It would only accept that as a text input. But with the Marketer's Toolkit, it allows me to upload directly here into a form, and then this actually gets stored into the HighLevel media library. This just little things like that, it can be the barrier for an artist to really use the system, and to have the funnel, they need to have the image. So it's still, even though it's something small, it's really, really important. And it's like, I don't want them to get caught up on a feature as small as that. So it's just, the Marketer's Toolkit has so many little golden nuggets around that together cumulatively help streamline all of those operations so that they don't become the thing that's the roadblock for artists or anybody using the platform. And so you can see here, the other thing that I love that Tom did is create the color picker. So if you have a custom value that's a color, his system, I always say he's just a wizard, because he knew how to program it so that it would automatically be a color picker, and you wouldn't have to go in again, find your hex code, go somewhere maybe in Canva, or get a plugin to figure out exactly what your brand color is. You can just totally edit it from here. I'm not going to say that. So it'll default back, but it allows the artist to just come in here, edit their colors, their logo. And once they do that, it updates universally in all of the templates. So their email templates, their funnel templates, their website, their virtual EPK, electronic press kit. It will be consistent branding across everywhere because of seamless tools through the Marketer's Toolkit.
And you've created all of those through snapshots, right? So you've created the funnels and the workflows and all of that to have the custom values in it that can be easily updated.
Yes, that's correct.
Amazing. Amazing.
Creating a system that allows you to easily update what you need to update without having to go into the back end, into the settings, and then going down to the custom values, and then, oh no, I see curly brackets, it looks really scary. Now I feel like I'm coding, I'm intimidated, versus being able to, I'm just going to go here. What is my current value and how do I update it? And then it's also those small things like autosave in contacts. Let me see. I want to make sure it's not going to, I think it's still in privacy mode, so it shouldn't show contact information, right? But autosave in contacts, it's the small things. Or before, I think HighLevel now has integrated like the pre-filled addresses, but
Hmm.
before that, it was Marketer's Toolkit was always the first to have those features to just streamline operations. So that has helped me tremendously to make sure that, my work is saved and that I'm able to, again, update, streamline, and cut out a couple extra unnecessary clicks when I'm working. And those clicks add up when you're building huge systems.
Of course. Exactly. Exactly. So what are some of the things that, you would recommend to somebody that is just starting out in HighLevel, like any tips that you would give them?
The tip is to know the problem you're solving. And that's
Mm.
with any business. And HighLevel is an incredible tool for anybody to start a business and have all of the underlying infrastructure that they need to start a digital business, right? And it could be also representing a physical business, but it has to have a digital footprint. And HighLevel gives you all of that, from the funnels to the websites to the email to the automations and the workflow builder. And when you're selling this, especially as an agency, to people that are going to come on and use your system, having a system that's very intuitive and easy to use is super important. And that's where I see the marketer's toolkit coming in. Because, like I said, I would not have been able to do six figures in 6 months, have over 100 artists from 6 different countries around the world using my platform to monetize their music direct to consumer, earning 50 times what they would earn on a platform like Spotify without having a streamlined, easy to use system. And I'm still iterating to bring make it even easier with the new tools that we have. But I remember I tore my ACL and my meniscus when I was presenting at a music conference. So, well, I was misdiagnosed. That's a whole story. But the long story short is that I could not walk for 8 months. I had to get a major surgery. Otherwise, doctors said I would walk with a limp the rest of my life and my performing career would be over. So I needed to
Oh
get
my
this
gosh.
surgery. And that's when I sat down up to 15 hours a day, teaching myself to code, teaching myself what a webhook is, how to read API documentation, what an endpoint was, what the get post request word to update the custom value so that I could create this framework where an artist or a user could go in and be able to simply update custom values that would populate the system that I had built for them. That was my objective. And I came in knowing that that's what I wanted. So that's when I'm saying that was the problem I needed to solve. The problem is this is too complicated. The solution is you need to be able to click one time. And the execution of that solution was the marketer's toolkit.
That's awesome. And would you say that getting into the marketer's toolkit, it is like a plug and play? You don't have to know code, but then you're like, but I want to know this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, it changed my life because once I went in there and started to understand what was happening, even if I didn't fully understand, the underlying code or whatnot, the technical aspect, to be like, oh, but when I edit this, this happens. That's interesting. So I wonder what would happen if I do this. It just allowed me that playground for exploration, for me to be creative. And like I said, Tom has so many amazing templates already in there. So being able to see, oh, he has already this gradient background. I wouldn't know how to do that. And now I can just change it to the gradient colors that I want, even something as simple like that. Because when you are selling HighLevel as an agency, there's a high chance with how HighLevel is growing that people might have seen a version of it before. And so you really want to distinguish yourself from the marketplace and create really solid onboarding experiences, really solid help libraries. And people all the time, when I'm doing demos, even when I did the official IRL masterclass with HighLevel, I had numerous people reaching out to me saying, hey, I noticed that your dashboard looks different than mine in HighLevel. How did you do that? And so it does make a difference when you are really wanting to brand yourself as an agency. I know that I teach myself a lot, but I didn't want to teach myself like CSS coding from scratch and auto save and dashboard buttons. So it was like, thank God, Tom.
Yes, yes. And speaking of distinctions, you kind of glossed over it and mentioned that you have started another agency.
Yes.
So you know this, you really are embracing this idea that you have to know what problem you're solving, and you're solving another problem. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the AI Homegirl is specifically geared at solopreneurs, SMBs, creatives, nonprofits who want to leverage AI, specifically generative AI, agentic AI, but don't know how. And so It's a platform that already has pre-built agents or AI homegirls that are all tasked with something specific. And so it allows one-click integration or a drag and drop platform where you can build your own custom agents or AI homegirls to streamline your business operations. So one of the things I'm using HighLevel more so now as a host for myself to be able to deploy, like manage my own customers. But now that I also have, a SaaS account there, I'm able to provide a website or a funnel or a Calendly like tool if they don't have it. So I'm not leading with HighLevel to try and grow as an agency for SaaS, but it's just a way of at least securing myself as the one-stop shop.
That totally makes sense. Are you using different AI tools like Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude and all those things like mixed into one, or do you have one specifically you use?
Well, my
Or is
main
it
stack right
proprietary?
now.
I don't want to like.
No, I feel like, I'm an open book because I hope that people can learn from my story coming as somebody who is just a creative, but always had a knack for tech, loves being on the computer because it's an opportunity where I don't have to be limited by my technical skills. My imagine is not
Yes.
limited by my technical skills. I can say it, I can see it, and I know what needs to happen. So my main stack has really been HighLevel and Lovable. And like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, I've been accepted into the Lovable Cohort 1 Shift Accelerator. So I've been building there and getting some behind the scenes resources. And then the hackathon that I just participated in on Sunday is also sponsored by Lovable. And so one of the features that I showed at the N8N meetup was that integration with HighLevel, Lovable, and N8N. And so that's the integration now where HighLevel, I mean, I can actually show you. Do you want to just see?
I would love to see it. Absolutely.
All right, so here I am at BritBot, the first active AI homegirl, and this creates an instant AI agent that shows up as a floating chat widget here, where it has these quick start buttons and allows users to basically engage with a chat in a chat with your website. So we're going to go ahead and put in solopreneurs.com, Virginia's website here, and it's going to instantly build your BritBot. So right now it is generating in the back end. It just executed a webhook to N8N, and it's scraping your website, creating these unique training documents for the agent and populating that code, which you'll be able to test out in real time in about 1 to 3 minutes as soon as our Cloudflare worker says, hey, it's ready, populate the button and show it right here. So that's what you'll see in a second. So let's
Great.
see. There she is. And let's go ahead and see. So let's see. Welcome. What do you offer? Let's see what's going on. We offer education tools and a supportive community for entrepreneurs focused on building purpose-driven businesses. Would you like me to share our training programs or how to join the community? Yes, I'm interested in the community. Let's see. And great to hear you're interested in the community. You can join the Vibrant Solopreneurs Association, a supportive space for purpose-driven entrepreneurs like you. Check it out here. This is the part. It's like hallucinating.
Oh my
This is like the main
gosh.
thing. It's like probably pulled the right links, but I'm still getting problems with hallucination. So that's like the main thing in the MVP that I'm working on. But would you like to get more info? So it'll automatically identify what the call to action on the site is and then be able to constantly bring the conversation back. And so it's just a really easy way for you to deploy a chatbot that's already trained without you having to collect that information and format it.
Yeah.
And if you want to update your training, it's just you'll get if anybody who purchases gets the signature sauce blueprint and the core facts extract, which are the training documents and their Google Docs. So literally it updates in real time. So as soon as you update that Google Doc, edit the information, it updates your bot and it'll be
Oh,
immediately active. So that's just an example of the accessibility issue where it's like, hey, I don't want to log into another dashboard or platform. Just being able to integrate on top of somebody's tech stack already. And then when they're ready, it's like, oh, well, have you heard of HighLevel? I have an agency called Soul Stack or Goal Getters, and I'm able to now enhance it with tools like the Marketer's Toolkit. They don't have to know that, but you as an agency owner know that now you've got them in with this lead magnet and being able to continue to build on, be that one-stop shop. So that's the gist of it.
yeah, totally. Totally. I can just imagine. I was just thinking about the toolkit and how you can create a custom homepage for people to see when they come into the login.
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that because that was the other thing that I really like as the marketer's toolkit, because if you have a SaaS plan in HighLevel, you can add certain features for each tier, but then people don't know what they're
Right.
missing out on. So one of the UX features that the marketer's toolkit comes in, and I can't remember what sub account I have, but I know that Jacob Radcliffe also showed me this at the HighLevel Summit, is you can add like, let me just show in my dashboard what you saw, goal getters with the dashboard buttons. Some of the UI that I developed with like the nested menus is because of the marketer's toolkit. Again, let me share my screen. So here where I have sites and email or whatnot, so email settings, templates, all of this is through the marketer's toolkit, so that it makes it really easy to nest tools in sometimes a more intuitive way, or an agency is not using all of the tools that are provided, and because they don't want to confuse their clients, they'll hide some of them. So the marketer's toolkit makes it really easy to hide and add tools or change the name of them. So I call it people, right, versus contact. So just those little small changes to make sure that the language is aligned with my clientele.
Right.
I could add all of like, I might want to do a snapshot where the only thing you have access to is your funnel builder and your automations. And then your sites and your email and everything else would show up here, but it would have a lock, a like icon, because the marketer's toolkit allows you to override the icons and override the naming. And then when they click on it, it would take them to the upgrade page. Hey, this is a feature that's only available at the, and so that's how you can kind of develop that within the agency and use that as like a self-selling workflow.
It's so brilliant, isn't it? Like, it's just so good how the toolkit allows you to have this functionality that you don't have to go into development with. So
Yes.
I'm really impressed, and you have with your homegirl, like people can go in and actually create their own homegirls. I love that.
Making AI really accessible. Just
Mhm.
that, you know, people get super intimidated by a lot of the tech jargon, and they don't need to understand everything that's happening behind the scenes. And they probably don't care to. They want to push a button and get a result, which is one of the kind
Right.
of main points of the and meetup, like the presentation that I did. It's also about the youth. And that's the reason why I had my 13-year-old niece present with me there, just to have her get that exposure and to go in HighLevel and see how to build something preliminary and bring her ideas to life. And so that's what it's really all about for me. That's what the AI Homegirl brand is. And I've been really grateful for an amazing community at HighLevel, at the Marketer's Toolkit, where looking back, I'm like, oh, you know, you'd probably be irritated with these elementary questions, but having somebody that would just respond and you can have a conversation and they'll meet you where you're at, it's been so huge in the development and where I am today.
Who told you about the marketer's toolkit?
Who did tell
How did you
me?
find, or how did you find out? Maybe you found out in the GHL group or the HighLevel official community on Facebook, or do you remember?
I remember wanting to solve that problem really, really badly. And I tried a bunch of solutions before. And I remember I was just going through anything and everything I could find. And the HighLevel group was the main source. You're just like, has anybody had this problem? I was just searching for it. And it was so long ago now. I'm one of the top contributors in that group. So I've posted a lot of stuff since then. So it might be a bit tough to scroll back, but
So you're solving the problem
mhm.
because it was just too hard for musicians to come in and do what they needed to do inside of GH.
Yeah, like they're hey, you have to go to settings and then you have to go to custom values. And what is a custom value? And you know, somebody's going to click on custom fields and then they're not going to know the difference. And then it's just, you know, so it was not going to work, you know, trying to get them to go in and edit the funnel and click here. And now something's missized and it's not showing up correctly. It was like, no, I don't want y'all to touch anything. These buttons are going to be everything that you need.
So when you created the landing pages, are they basic link in bio, or are they like full out websites?
So they're full on artist funnels. So I can actually give you an example if you'd like to see.
Yeah, sure.
So this is a very, very simple funnel. It's pretty much just a video or cover art, right? Most artists, they just add a simple picture. This is all a snapshot. I have to create more contrast here, but it just takes a brand color with the Tom's color picker, the marketer's toolkit. And then these are the custom values that they can update in that dashboard bundle form. So it'll take the name of the song, the description of the song, and then this is actually a custom value as well. And then the color is a custom value. And then, it's a pretty basic funnel form. Put in your name, put in your email, and get my free song. And then bam, this is where we get our paid offer. And so, hey, I'm going to take my entire music off of Spotify, but you can download it here for $5. Again, this is a custom value. What is the offer, right? And the price. This is a custom value that they enter in the dashboard button to populate their video or their image. The description here of the paid offer, that's a custom value. And so again, it allows them to generate this page so that the only things that they really have to do is maybe polish in, add some customization if they want to, add the products, connect them to the page, integrate Stripe, which is just a one-time setup, and then they're ready to start making money.
Amazing. And you said that the video, it's a video or an image
Yes.
for the custom value?
Yes. And it's through the
Wow.
link.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
cool.
So I had to add both fields for it to populate. But most 90% of artists end up using a still image anyway. So it covers most, but I think video converts higher. So I always want to give my artists the option for the more complex thing if they want to take that.
Absolutely. And what kind of emails do you provide for your customers?
So it's a 3-sequence nurture sequence. So the first one is them, the delivery. They get the lead magnet, they get the song with a little story about it. And then the second email is going to be more behind the scenes, getting deeper with the story. And then the third email, and they're dripping all 2 days apart, will be where we redirect them back to an offer. So we're nurturing the connection, we're setting the expectation, and then driving them back. So that's all part of the snapshot. And then there's other add-ons depending on the artist's needs of different ways that they can engage with their audience.
Cool. And what is some of the feedback that you're getting from your clients as far as maybe comparing it to other systems that they've used in the past?
Well, the thing is, they either haven't used a system or they've used very fragmented systems. So maybe they had a funnel on ClickFunnels, and then they had a MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, and then they were just randomly generating QR codes over here, trying to connect those things. And then they also had a Shopify store or whatever. And so the main piece of feedback is just, I love having everything in one place, everything streamlined, and it feels that it's a whole versus me having all of these different logins and then trying to figure out needing a third party like Zapier or Pabbly to have the softwares talk to each other. So that's a huge benefit.
That's awesome. And would you say that custom values, it sounds like custom values is your very favorite tool in the toolkit?
It's like I bought the toolkit just for that, because that's how deep the problem was. It was like, it is the make or break difference. Like, I remember spending so many hours, Virginia, when I could not walk with my leg propped up, sitting there. And I thought I was so smart and I had figured it out in Zapier. And when I added a new custom value, it would push the value down. So all of a sudden my YouTube link was my Spotify link, and my Spotify link was my title music link. And then it was jumbled and it was just like, I went through so much. It was just like, oh my gosh, the marketer's toolkit exists. I can have it so that they can just fill out a form that I make. I know all the data that I want to collect. I can put in all the little help points there. It lives on their dashboard. It's the first thing they see that when they log in, they can update it anytime, and it updates across everything. That's the only problem that I need to solve. Getting the membership for that tool alone was worth it to me. So if you can solve the pain point, that's all that matters, because I was willing, and I was like, I'm out of physical pain from my knee injury. I cannot be in this emotional turmoil, right? I'm trying to figure out the custom value. The other thing that I love about the marketer's toolkit is every time I've ever had a problem, no matter how big or small, I don't know how he does it. That's why I'm convinced he's a wizard, but Tom is always on it. He has always resolved my problem immediately. Like sometimes like literally within that hour where I'm like, oh no, he's not even going to get this. And I would be so surprised advertised, and he will be on it. And he has just helped me tremendously. And the community on Facebook, Marketers Toolkit community, is awesome. I mean, you're part of it. I know I always see you in there offering support, and people just offering to help each other, and even within the greater HighLevel community as well. So that's also the other part that I'm just so grateful to be part of and have, because there have been some times where I was like freaking out, like, oh no, and it'd be like, oh no, don't worry about it, I'm gonna get it fixed for you, and it's always on point. So thank you.
No, thank you. I can't tell you how excited I've been to get back on the line with you and have a good chat. Like, it is always so invigorating and inspiring. And I'm just so excited for you and all of the things that you have coming up for you. This has been such a great talk. So thank you so much for being on. Before I let you go, where can people find you?
You can see, I mean, I guess I'm not that hard to find if you really want to find me, but Kaila Love, it's very on brand, Kaila Love, Love. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on, and also the AI Homegirl. You can search either one of those things. And it's also like, what aspects of me do you want to find? You want to find Kaila Love, the rapper and performer, Kaila Love, the speaker and educator, Kaila Love, like the developer and hackathon winner, the agency owner, or like, so it's kind of like, you got to be more specific.
Okay, where do we find the rapper?
Anywhere you listen to music except for Spotify. I took my music off of there and then put it in a funnel instead.
Okay, and where do we find the developer?
The AIHomegirl.com. That's my landing page that's in the works, and the AI Homegirl across social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram.
And where do we find AI? Where do we find AI? Where do we find Kaila Love, the speaker, teacher, educator?
KailaLove.com. Just scroll down and you'll see the different categories and how to book me for each one, and my resume and the things that I've done.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm excited to see you at the next HighLevel Summit and all the places
Likewise.
around in the online world.
Amazing,
All right.
Virginia. Thank you so much for having me on today.